everyone. Welcome to another Mission Shakeup. I am your host, Rebecca Lindhout, Adult Ministries Consultant for WMU of North Carolina, and we are so excited to have you with us today. We want to jump right in with some very time-sensitive information. WMU is reaching out to help in the Ukraine through our Heart Fund. The WMU Foundation has a heart fund that is reaching out and sending funds to a seminary in the Ukraine that is on the front lines of ministry right now, and to refugee ministries in Moldova. I will have a link on our Mission Shakeup page that you can check out on our WMU North Carolina website. We will also be posting that on the front page of our website. So if you want to join with us in giving to that important cause today, I encourage you to do so. What better way to serve right now with your WMU group than to make that a goal for this month? Can you set a goal to give to the Ukraine and to help with those who are helping the least fortunate and in the most terrible of circumstances?
Dear friends, my name is Yaroslav Pej. I'm a president of Baptist Theological Seminary in Lviv, Ukraine. 6 days ago, we had students in our classrooms. We had lectures, we had professors, we had everything what each seminary would have. But now, everything have changed in Ukraine. Now it's a 6-day war with Russia. We turned our seminary from educational institution into a refugee center. Since we had a very wide network of students all around Ukraine, we've been able to use that to receive students and their families, and now we receive everyone and place them with other students or helping them to leave the country and go to Western countries, Poland, Romania, and other places. War brought a completely new reality. In 5 days, we became a lot older. Things became completely different. And observing that, one thing that I would like to mention to you is what we are having in Ukraine right now. It's a big storm. Storm that have touched every single life. It turned it upside down, tore it apart. And we finding ourselves in the midst of that storm. But we also know that we're not alone. There's Jesus that is walking. And when he sits with us in the boat, the storm calms down, the peace comes. So we're all praying for a miracle. And I would urge you to pray for that miracle. A miracle for disciples was Jesus sitting with them and calming the storm. The miracle for us is to stop that war. So please, pray for a big miracle. But at the same time, I told my people that every person that we touched, we are a miracle for them, because they are in the greatest storm. They are running for their life. We live in Lviv, which is western part of Ukraine, and we have not been hit directly from any ballistic missiles or anything like that yet. So there's relative safety here. So we can help them, have them here, place them into different homes, or help them to leave the country. But the miracle for us is for that war to be stopped. So, what I'm telling my people is, every time when we touch those people, we bring in that peace into their life. We actually carrying them in our hands, not taking away their pain, because we cannot do that. But while they endure that pain, we can carry them. A lot of people have helped us financially, and we need a lot of that help still. We don't know how to transport humanitarian aid through the border yet. It will come. But now we need financial help to pay for the food, for beds, for place, helping with transportation, all of these expenses. And we believe that in the future, we will be able to serve even bigger number of people. As of today, we have processed 720 people, and the count is continuing. So, thank you for considering praying for us. I have a few specific things for you to pray. Please pray for a big miracle for Ukraine, for war to stop. Pray for financial support that we need for this ministry, and pray for emotional state of our staff, team, and people that we're working with. And if you would like to partner with us, we will be happy to do that. Thank you.
We also have an exciting challenge for our directors. Yes, I'm talking to you, the one watching this video, trying to get things ready for your next meeting. I want to challenge you to bring the most women to WMU Missions Extravaganza. The group that brings the largest group will get our director's bundle. And in the director's bundle is the 2022-23 Missions Planning Guide. We will also be giving you a free subscription to Missions Mosaic magazine and a free subscription to Missions Leader Guide. So that is a pretty big bundle, I think, and it's something exciting to share with your group. And I hope that you will encourage your women to register for ME. We have so many wonderful things and opportunities planned for you, from having Valerie Elliott Shepard, a very well-known name in the missions community, to over 23 missions breakout groups, a great time of fellowship together, as well as a yummy lunch. So we hope that you will register actually for both nights. Friday night we have a banquet that's going to have lots to tell you about what's going on in WMU, and then Valerie Elliott Shepard is going to be showing clips from the movie The End of the Spear about her father and the 4 other missionaries who were martyred in Ecuador, and how God worked a miracle through that situation. And then on Saturday, we will have Valerie speaking again. We will have wonderful music leadership, as well as 22 missions breakout conferences. So we hope that you will join us for this wonderful experience, and get signed up today and bring a friend, ladies. Encourage them to bring a friend. There is something for everyone at WMU Missions Extravaganza. Okay, so this month, I got nothing for you. Do you ever feel like that? Do you feel like that with your WMU group? Do you sometimes feel like that with your kids or your family, or even with your friends? Like, I just have nothing for you, or I just can't deal right now. I can't deal with everything. You are not alone. WMU's focus for 2022 through 2026 is mental health. And this month, you have some great articles in your Missions Mosaic magazine about mental health. And I'll get to more details about that later. I just want you to remember that sometimes, I know that many of you focus on the International or the North American Mission Board missionaries for every episode, and I encourage that. I think that we want to hit the missions ground running. But sometimes we need to acknowledge what's going on around us. What's going on? Or is your group in a situation of high anxiety? Do a lot of the women in your group, are they in stressful situations? Are they experiencing loss or health issues, those sorts of things? All of these affect our mental health. And so we're going to get... This month, our mission spotlight is on the Crownovers in North Germany. In North Germany, only 1 out of 100 people are a believer in Jesus Christ. This makes for quite a challenge for the Crownovers, who are ministering in, let me see if I can say this right, Das Viertel, the city's cultural center, where there are theaters, museums, art classes, dance classes, and locally owned shops. So this is like a very artsy community that they are ministering in, and the people there are very focused on having an open mind to all kinds of lifestyles. Does that remind you of anything right now in America today? In fact, you will find many parallels to what the Crownovers are experiencing in Germany, and with what churches are currently experiencing with Gen Z. Everybody wants to think that everybody can be right, everybody's ideas are great ones, and that no one thing or belief is better than another. And we know that there is only one way, and that is Jesus. And so that is what the Crownovers are trying to teach by reaching out through interest groups. In fact, ARC Crownover has an interest group amongst board gamers, and I think it's board games and online games. And in fact, he has a YouTube channel that you can find a link to and see his videos. that he hosts with a buddy from Germany that reviews board games, and as a way for him to stay in contact and in touch with the culture of Germany. Hobbies and interests, if you don't have one, then you are missing out, and you are out of the loop as far as culturally and as far as outreach as a missionary in Germany. And so that is a huge way that he is reaching out, and I encourage you to look online at his video. He's pretty funny. Also, I want to encourage you to bring your taste and smells into your group. And vanilla Kit Farrell, I guess you would say. Anyway, there's a recipe for that in your Missions Mosaic magazine. But also there is something on page 21. It's called Light in the Darkness, and it talks about Easter bonfires. And apparently this is a centuries-old German tradition of having bonfires and celebrating the chasing away of the darkness with the light of Christ in Germany. And they say that people use stick bread there, and they have a bonfire, but it can be as simple as lighting a candle. So we want to encourage you. How can you have an Easter bonfire, or can you light an Easter candle and create a party-like atmosphere within your own WMU group as something new and different? Maybe if you're a children's leader, could you have a bonfire? Could you roast s'mores and talk about the light of Jesus that chases away the darkness? And so just think outside the box this month. How can you use that idea of fire and light in your missions lessons? All right, so I want you to take a look also on page 23. Like I said, we are talking about some mental health challenges and about relationships really this month. And the first page that I want you to look out for that is on page 23. And it is called Living at Peace, Sacrifice Your Need to Be Right. Now, this is a message to our leadership, and I think it's a message to all women, because just about all women are leaders somewhere, whether you're a leader in your home, amongst your friends, at your job. It doesn't matter where you are, you can be a leader. And I think that many WMU groups have probably been through struggles of leadership at some point. And I think this is a really wonderful article about kind of putting yourself second. And it says, sometimes you need to know when you should let go of your need to be right. There are times when you must stand up for what is right, especially when it comes to the gospel and the truth found in the Bible. But there are other times when the issue is an idea that is important to you, but is not one you have to dig your heels about and stand up for. And they give you some 5 ways to decide if this is one of those stand up and die on that hill ideas, or if this is something where you could take a step back and let someone else step up as with leadership and let somebody else's ideas get carried through. So when deciding whether you should press on your idea or let it go, ask yourself these questions. Number 1, have I prayed about this and know for sure God is leading me in this direction? Is it God's direction or is it my direction? Number 2, is my idea keeping me from following God's plan? Number 3, am I afraid of being seen as incapable or ineffective if someone else does not choose my idea? Do we just not let other people bring their ideas to the table because we are afraid that if it comes up to their idea or our idea, if our idea doesn't get chosen, that means that people don't like us or don't think our ideas are good? And 4, if my idea is the right one, will it bring someone closer to God? Would it possibly bring someone closer to God if I choose humility and cooperation? Ladies, humility and cooperation, rather than implementing my idea or opinion this time. And 5, is there another way to communicate what I think is right that is less demanding or intimidating? Sometimes we get in leader mode and we can steamroll over others without even realizing it, because our intent is good, our end goal is good, but we have to bring others along in the journey with us. So I encourage you to read that article, Living at Peace, Sacrifice Your Need to Be Right, on page 23. On page 24, there is an article called To Manage Conflict, Begin with Your Own. I really enjoyed this article, ladies, and here's why. I think sometimes as women, we feel like that we have to be strong at all times. And that is not true. We all go through struggles. We all go through times of trial, and we all go through times of brokenness. And we have to sometimes acknowledge that brokenness so we can heal. They give us some really wonderful ideas. The first step is admitting you are struggling and you need help. I remember just this past week, I was in the car and I was talking to my daughters, and my daughter Phoebe, who is 6, said, "Mommy, why are you angry?" And I said, "I'm not angry." And she said, "Yes, you are. You're using your angry voice." And it was about something that had no need to be so charged with emotion. But the truth was that I was at my limit, not just with my daughters, but I was feeling overwhelmed in the moment. My daughters hadn't done a thing wrong. I was just overwhelmed with my life in general. And I knew at that moment that I needed to stop and say, why am I not okay right now? What is going on? What are some things that I can take off my plate? And can I focus more on my girls and the people in front of me and the people that I love in this moment? The second step is staying in truth. When you are going through times of struggle, nothing can be more of a comfort to you than staying in the truth of God's word, which is He will never leave you nor forsake you. Always hold on to that. And they suggest the scripture, John 16:33. Jesus said, "I have told you these things so that you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." We aren't promised to have trouble-free days, but we are promised that Jesus has overcome the world and that He is with us every step of the way. The next one might be the hardest thing for your whole group, and that is admitting your struggles to others. Do you have a group of people that you can be vulnerable with? Do you have a group of people that you can reach out to and say, "I'm not okay"? You might acknowledge it to yourself, but are there others who can be your sounding board and that you were able to say, "Hey, I need extra hands, I need extra ears, I need help"? I encourage you to look for that person in your group. Look for those people in life. I know that I have just a iPhone messaging group that's 4 of my best friends, and sometimes we just text things like, "What is happening? Why are my children crazy? Why do I feel like I want to punch a wall right now?" And those friends come alongside, sometimes with encouragement, sometimes with humor, and sometimes with, "Yeah, what is going on? Let's talk about that." And sometimes they'll follow up with a phone call, and that is always a precious thing, to have people that you can be vulnerable with in your life. And then the fourth step is accessing your community of resources. Ladies, that is why mental health is at WMU's new focus. We are focusing on that because we want women to know that there is no shame to say, "I'm struggling." There is no shame in seeking help with your mental health. There is no shame in getting a counselor. And there's no shame in getting medication if that is what you need. We want you to know that there is a vast pool of resources, and you do not have to fight these struggles alone. All right, so please check out on page 24, To Manage Conflict, Begin with Your Own. And then last but not least, on page 26, you've got The Sacrifice of Joy. And this is the focus of this is saying, are there some things that I can sacrifice or give up so that Jesus can be glorified? So the joy of sacrifice talks about how our devotion to Jesus inevitably means we must turn loose of long-term treasured ideas, habits, and ways and reform our lives around what pleases Jesus. Ladies, I want you to challenge your groups. Are there things that you need to give up or sacrifice so that God can be honored amongst your WMU group? Are there ways of doing things that need to be reformed so that you can invite the next generation of women into your WMU group? Is there ways of leading that you might need to change by walking through some of these articles in Missions Mosaic magazine and saying, is this a me thing or is this a God thing? I think that nothing in your group except for praying for missionaries should be a sacred cow at WMU. That you should be able to adapt and to change and to lead your group into a new generation of WMU while still clinging to the things that are so important to us, such as praying for missions, learning about missions, and going on missions. How we do our meeting does not have to change how we see God and how we are meeting God where He is. And that is one of the things they talk about. Jesus' call was simple and direct. Follow me. Jesus did not describe their mission, give instructions regarding how they were going to organize their lives with Him, or set before them great truth. He simply called them to be with Him as He went about His ministry. WMU ladies, we want to be with Jesus wherever ministry is happening, wherever missions is happening. We want to be a part of encouraging it and participating in it. And so that should be our overarching principle, is that we are joining Jesus on mission. And we should be joining others along the way who are headed in the same direction. So what does it mean for you to follow Jesus today? And do you consider your devotion to Jesus a sacrifice? Those are all great things to think about this month. I have quite a few resources for you under our adult education segment on our WMU website. I will have the link to the YouTube video. I will have this month's missions video of the Crown Overs. It's not currently available online yet, but it will be there, and I will put that up as soon as it is. It will have your recipes, and it will also have some links to a podcast that Sandy Wisdom Martin, our president, hosts, and it's called On the Journey. And I'm going to give you a link to one of the recent podcasts, and it's called Hope for Anxious Women in Anxious Times. If we're not living in anxious times right now, so many of us are fearful of World War III and if it could be coming, but we know that we can rest and let go of some of that anxiety because we know who is the author and finisher of our faith, and that is Jesus. We can trust the author from beginning to the end. And so knowing that that Jesus is the author of all things, let us take this time and just a few moments today. I encourage you to just find some time to rest in Jesus and know that He is a good, good Father. I hope that you will join me next time for Missions Shake-Up, and at that point we will have gotten through our missions extravaganza, and we will be talking about all the wonderful ways that God was moving there, and you do not want to miss it. So register today. See you next time.